quality is just another euphemism for mediocrity, where participation is more highly valued than achievement, where just enough to get by is the new standard of excellence. There is a small minority of people who fight back against such apathy, who struggle daily to reach new heights. These brave few are the hope for the future, the bright shining light for the next generation. They are the ones who will lead us to the places we have never dreamed of, to the undiscovered country, to reach goals only a few can even begin to imagine. Unfortunately, none of those people could be here tonight, so kick back and relax. Prepare yourself for several hours of fun, friendship, fascinating conversation, and fabulous music. All those F's, that's an alliteration and kind of a radio trick. Speaking of radio, you're listening to the most popular radio station in the history of broadcast radio, at least among stations that originate from Chris's living room. It's Curious Times. Your host is a curious listener. Here she is, Chris.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Curious Times. It is Tuesday, June 7th, and we have Lisa Noland-Shalosky here today. You may hear the sudden, out of the blue grunt or shriek of pain accidentally emerge from me at points throughout the show. If I can mute myself when those are about to happen, if I know they're about to happen, I will. If I can't, then you just have to listen to it. I put my back out, my upper back. I went over to turn the fan, tilt the fan just a little bit up, and when I tried to stand back up, I couldn't. And so everything's still really, it hasn't settled down yet. And I'm always putting my back out. It's nothing new for me. And I go about my business whenever that happens as best as I can. If it takes me a half an hour to get up the stairs, it takes me a half an hour to get up the stairs, and that's what we do. So I do my shows. It don't matter, but, it's never happened to me just within minutes of the show starting. So when I try to reach for something or whatever, you may hear me grunt or shriek in pain. Anyway, what's coming up at Curious Times tomorrow? We have Kathleen Moore. Thursday, Jen Young. Friday and Saturday are open so far. Sunday is Yvette Howell. Monday is open. Next Tuesday, a week from tonight, is our resident astrologist, heavy metal psychic, Melissa Bruce. And so Lisa's here tonight, though. She is a psychic medium, and she's also a channeler. And she is insatiable with her pursuit of knowledge and learning in all things metaphysical. And so we always tend to learn something from Lisa, and she's always on to a new book and everything like this. And so always an enjoyable discussion with Lisa. We never know if we're going to talk, what we're going to talk. Oh, she got two of them there. We never know what we're going to be talking about or anything like that. It just flies as it does. And so you can find out everything you want to know about Lisa Noland-Shalosky by going to www.lisanoland.com. And so let's just go get her. Hello, Lisa.
Hey.
How's it going?
Oh, I'm doing much better than you are.
I'm going to have to... I have to really try to avoid laughing tonight, if possible. It was like, oh no, laughing is not the answer. So we will have a very somber,
non-laughter as possible.
Very somber. It's impossible. I know it's impossible. It's like I'm my own worst enemy. I've said to people, never have abdominal surgery and then invite me to the hospital. It just isn't good. And I remember a scene that I had with a friend of mine, and she had abdominal surgery. She was having actually a hysterectomy, it was just like right out of Laverne and Shirley or something like that, because she asked me a simple thing, which was I already was cracking her up, which was hurting her quite a lot. And I offered to leave several times, and she said, no, that's okay. All she asked me to do was adjust her bed a little bit. Hey?
You're free.
By accident. I'm freezing up. Can you guys not hear me? No? Can't hear me? Okay. Lisa, you can't hear me. Oh, it's intermittent. Am I breaking up to everybody, or am I breaking? That sucks. Here goes the server again, hey? Okay, I'm okay for Dragon. Okay. So right in the middle of the funniest part of the story. So you missed parts of the story. So this friend had abdominal surgery and invited me over to the hospital. Mistake number one. And then asked me to simply adjust her bed. And it was like you'd think you were watching Laverne and Shirley or something, because I pushed the wrong button and the bed started folding up. And it was just ridiculously funny. I mean, I didn't but then it was funny for her too. Like it was just ridiculous. So anyway. They say laughter's the best medicine, and I do believe in that. But every now and then, if you need to, you don't know what muscles you use for certain things until you hurt those muscles, right? And then you know. And so anyway, and then the funniest thing was I brought some music. So Dr. Hook, and Dr. Hook was singing that song. With Cocaine Katie and blah blah. What song is that? Cover of the Rolling Stone, is it maybe? And so there's this old woman in the curtained off bed next to my friends, who starts singing, Cocaine Katie, and this old woman is just rocking it up. Oh my God, we both thought we were gonna die that night. So anyway. So what's going on? How's things? Any news for us?
Things are just really good. We've just been, always busy. Summer has finally hit. Well, it's not technically summer, right? But the weather has finally gotten nice enough for us to be kayaking and doing our thing outside. It was stayed cold for a long time. I think even the last time I was talking to you, it was still chilly out here in Ohio. And then it just went instant hot. But it's okay. It's been, a fantastic couple of weeks. Rain here and there. We went to a place called, now we didn't kayak down at this place. We went to a place called Hocking Hills in Ohio. And those of you that are here in Ohio, hey, Chris, Native Earth is with Gina. Well, hello. Hey. So I'm Skype talking with Gina at the same time, and then now Native Earth lady, who's that?
That's Kathy from.
Oh.
I think they must have this ghost dude that rings bells and talks through dolls or something together in common.
Okay.
I think that must be the connection between the two of them.
Okay.
I'm about to cough, and that's not going to be a good thing.
Oh, that's not going to be good.
I'm going
Hold
to
it back.
you tell your... No, you
so
can't hold it.
We went to this beautiful place called Hocking Hills this weekend. It's in Ohio. For those of you people that are around Ohio, it's absolutely an amazing, amazing place. So it's Old Man's Cave is just one of the sites that you go to down there. And the nature is just absolutely beautiful. You guys see it. I mean, this is just like an hour from my house, right? So,
make your pictures bigger in the chat room for the webcams by.
Look at this.
Clicking.
This is where I was this past weekend. And then when you get down inside where the caves and stuff are, it started raining, and Old Man's Cave has this big, huge overhang. And so my husband and I, we got up underneath the cave part, and we literally just sat on the ledge and just watched it just pour down rain. This is a place called it's either the Lower or the Upper Falls. And as a kid, my parents used to take us here all the time. Was that? Oh, the page is all turned. Yeah. My dad, we used to play there as kids, like all the time. all the time. So this past weekend was my first time going in like 20 years, and it's like an hour and a half from the house. It's a shame that I haven't been down there more, but we just absolutely had an amazing time. But the other thing about being at a place like that is you realize how fat and out of shape you are. So we were headed towards the lower falls, and I'm like, oh, Patrick, I don't know if I can make it all the way down there, because if I get all the way down there, who's going to get me back out of this place? Because it's just cliffs everywhere. It's just literally they've just carved steps out of the stones that were existing. I mean, it is just amazing nature. And, of course I had to.
Your husband's on Nancy Grace, top 10 wanted.
I would hop up a few steps, and then I would turn and put my hand on my hip, and I'm like, oh, look at this beautiful scenery. Only because I couldn't walk anymore. I had to catch my breath. It was tough, man. I couldn't believe how out of breath I was getting. But,
The reason behind Stop and Smell the Roses is because there was, an out-of-shape person who couldn't keep up. And they're like, wait a minute, stop and smell the roses.
Yeah, and this is the drive down. Now, this is, of course, an autumn photo, but this just gives you an idea of what the windy streets are like. Like, that's the roads going down. They're just windy like that the whole time.
Yeah. Love that.
In the fall, it's just absolutely amazing driving down there. If you guys are friends of mine on Facebook, I posted a bunch of pictures on Facebook from our trip, and we live in Columbus, and we've been talking about this. We've got these 17-year cicadas that were supposed to be out, and it's like, where are they? Right? We have not heard a single one of them. We got down to Hocking Hills and rolled the windows down as we're driving around, and all you hear is just the cicadas everywhere. It was just incredible. And then when we finally got to Old Man's Cave, literally it was like you had to talk up. You couldn't talk in just your normal voice because the cicadas were so loud. I mean, they were so loud. Wow. It was amazing. Did you see my pictures on Facebook of the cicadas?
I did not.
Okay, let me just show you one.
We'll find your page.
No, one of them got here. I'll just show you guys this. One of them they were flying everywhere. There were just thousands and thousands and thousands of them. So one of them landed on Patrick's finger, and just was standing there and was just letting us take pictures of him.
Oh.
Isn't that awesome? So. Yeah, here's the one I posted on Facebook was this one. Whoa. That one there.
Okay.
Isn't that cool?
Wow. See, that would be me. I do not like bugs landing on me. He was totally I would run off the cliff. I would probably run off the cliff,
Yeah, he was totally posing for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just absolutely awesome. Let me see if I can show you. And I'll show you this picture. That's my favorite. This is where we waited out for the rain. I mean, people just got soaked that were coming up by us. They just couldn't. So you guys are going to get bored with looking at my pictures since I got started on it. Let's see here. There's one of them that I took, looking down into the cave, right? Yeah. Let me see. Hang on. Oh, and then there's this beautiful... this doesn't really do it justice, but you can kind of see that this is the overhang of the cave that we were under, and down at the bottom there's a big bridge. Here's Patrick. Okay, this is.
I'm looking hot. I feel like I've died and gone to hell.
Yep.
Thank you.
And
Gina.
There we are sitting on that. Patrick's sitting on the ledge, just watching the trees, watching the rain. Yeah, she's feeling bad tonight.
I'm looking hot. Yeah, I'm looking hot. Yes, hot. That's what threw my back out. Stupid fan. Anyway, I wish it was colder. I thought I'd never say that in my life. Anyway. Yeah, I would take calls. Yeah, it was the phone-in freaking show, people. Call in. What, do you want me to dial it for you too, Gina? Actually, when you came in the room, Gina, you should have had a big message that said, "Welcome, blah 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 blah. Please call." So scroll to here. Don't nobody type because I can't copy it. Stop type. Okay, thank you. And like every time I go to try to copy something, somebody types, and I'm like And so okay, come on, I'm getting old. I think I'm at least as old, if not worse, than you, Gina. Anyway, I can't copy and paste yet. We'll have the copy and paste advanced class tomorrow, but for the beginners, we'll go next week. And so anyway, that's funny you say that, because does anybody here remember Elmar? Oh my God, there was a night where it took me it was like 40 minutes on the show or something, trying to teach her how to copy and paste something into their chat room. It was ridiculous.
Really? Here,
yeah, it
was last picture, guys. Look at this tree. That's Patrick standing at the root of this, at the base of we're at the base of the first cave.
Wow.
And that root system, the only thing underneath it is the rock, the rock below it. That entire root system is on that big boulder.
Wow.
So it's just the whole park is just full of that.
That's amazing. Just again to remind you guys that you can change your view by going to the bottom right hand of your screen where there's a little drop-out menu. It's not a drop-down menu, it's a drop-up menu, and you can choose Hangout, and it'll give you the webcams will show up bigger.
Yeah.
And otherwise you just see two little squares, and it's kind of hard to see all this stuff on the on the screen. Stop it. Yeah. Stop it. No. I reject laughing. Lisa, don't. Oh my God, it's gonna hurt me so bad. She's snorting. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
She's a very empathic individual, as you can see. Full of compassion and care and concern.
I totally get what you're doing. I've only had that kind of pain one time, and my friend who passed away was a chiropractor, and I went to his office, and he tried to help me, and I mean, he tried for like 2 hours on all these different machines and doing all this thing. He's like, Lisa, you're just going to have to go to the hospital. So he calls for the squad. The squad comes in, and I'm literally laying belly over at his table. And they're like, ma'am, we're going to have to stand you up. And I'm like, oh, no, please don't do that. Ma'am, you have to stand up in order to get in the squad and get on our, it was just like, oh, man, that pain was just, it's horrible. It's like, it's unlike anything you could, I get you. I get what you're a tough gal, because I can't take that kind of pain.
It's been happening to me since my young 20s, though. Like, it's a regular. Gina, who the hell are you talking to? Okay, listen. Do I have your attention? Gina. Okay. If you look up, way up, and I'll call Rusty. There's a little picture of a headset in the upper left hand of your window. You have to click that and then enable your mic. Go through and say, yes, I share my mic, and then do the little sound check. And there she is. Hang on, because I'm on my elbow. Normally that would be a quick movement, but now I have to hold my weight with my other arm and get over to my mouse. And there you go. Can we hear you now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. How's it been? I think it's been a long time since we've chatted. So how the hell are you, Chris?
I couldn't be better. Thank you.
Good. Glad to hear it. It's been a long time.
Doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I just wanted to come by and say hi. It's been a long time. I heard Lisa was on, and just love Lisa. Can't say enough good things about her. So I just wanted to pop in and say, hey, I miss everybody, and I'm glad to be here. And are you going to take callers tonight?
What the hell are you?
Well, I thought, well, I guess I'm a caller. Are there other callers, or am I the only one?
Yeah, we'll take callers. We always take callers. We beg for callers sometimes, but sometimes
well, it's been a while.
We don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm digging your new setup here.
Yeah. It's really not so new for me. I've been here since last September.
Has it been that long?
And and so we're getting along okay over here, really. Yeah. What we've done is we've lost all of them chronic psychic junkies over from the other place, you know.
Yeah. And everything's nice and peaceful.
Well, it is, and
you don't get all those people spamming your chat room either.
Yeah, we're off Blog Talk now, Chris. We're over at Ghost Call Radio Network. Have you heard of that? It's brand new. And Lisa said,
Yeah, I heard. I heard your show.
You did?
Yeah. And we can doodle. We can go.
Well, I just wanted to say hi.
So we can, it's a great place for doing classes and anything where you want an interactive. We've done shows where we have if people have paranormal pictures.
Yeah.
Pictures where they have something, we can put that picture up within seconds, and then I can increase the, I can zoom in, and then we can look really close at a certain thing and blah blah blah. Somebody
That's
will
cool.
be going, well, don't you see that thing over there? And everyone's like, where? And then so I can just hand the controls to someone else and say, get the pencil and show me where, and then they can go here. You know what I mean? And so it's good. Ouch! So it's good here. We're having a good time over here, and
good.
we need
I
more
love the
hosts
video
over here, and we need more listeners. But that's going to happen.
It will.
It's going to happen anytime.
Hey, I'll put the word out, Chris. I'll put the word out on my website and stuff so that let people know where you are, because I didn't know you were here. You know.
Awesome. That's great.
I'll get the word out.
Every night. Here we
are. All right.
So feel free to hang out if you want. I mean, stay on if you want. Or if you want me to mute you, tell me when. And
yeah, go ahead. I just wanted to say, hey, what's up? Okay. Miss you guys. Miss you, Lisa. I'll see Lisa when is it? Next Monday, on Bella's Free Radio. Yeah. So awesome. We'll see you then. And good night.
Thanks, Gina Marie.
Good night, guys. Love you.
Gina Marie. Where did I get Gina Marie from? Gina. Okay. So where were we, Lisa, in this ADHD world that we live in?
So we were just talking about Hocking Hills, and then the other fun thing I've been doing is I do have a couple new books I'm reading. I can't remember if I told you guys about this one or not. Excuse Me, Your Life is Waiting.
Hang on, let me get my window open. There.
Did we talk about this one?
I can't remember. That's the beautiful thing about a head injury. Everything is brand new.
Well, I wrote about it in my newsletter that I sent out last night. It's been a really awesome book so far. I'm not done with it yet. I never read a whole book all the way through. I'm always reading 2 or 3 books at a time. But it's just an absolutely fantastic book, and I've just underlined so many things in this book. You okay? No. Yeah, we need to do a group healing for you. But
I need a group, a big ass bottle of Flexeril would help right now. Flexeril would be good.
This lady, she started following Esther and Jerry Hicks and was doing some of her own work prior to that. So she kind of married it all together. And she's so witty and funny in how she writes, and she talks about her stories and some other stories of people that she knows, and how it's just like we always talk, that you can
do magic, you can do anything. Anyway. Yeah.
Well, I'm losing my train of thought. You can you know how Esther and Jerry Hicks, the law of attraction, right? And what you put your mind to is what you draw to you. Well, this woman goes a step further and talks about feeling it into being and helping you identify what you want and then what you don't want. You know what I mean? What and then why do you want certain things? And it's just really, really a good book. And just, talking you through why you deserve to have these good things. And, the very first chapter, how we got into this mess, right? How we got into this mess is, in the human conditioning, how, and she talked about, she lived in California and she got this really good job working for a guy that was selling real estate. And he sold like millions and millions of dollars worth of real estate. Like one transaction would be a multi-million-dollar, transaction. And she had like 2 or 3 things lined up. And every time it would get to almost closing day, and she would always tell herself, "This is never going to work. I don't deserve to get this particular job or get this money." And every single time they would fall through and she couldn't handle the pressure, so she bailed on the job. And she realized years later that she was the one that was drawing to herself all of those things to happen that way. You know what I mean? So it all is, the law of attraction, and we have the power to make the changes that we need to make. And, so here are some of the, like her title, like the subtitle of one of her chapters is "Screw Old Beliefs," right? Some of our old beliefs is you have to work hard to get it. Money must be earned. You don't get something for nothing. Money's hard to come by. I never have enough. These are old negative thoughts about money, and she teaches you how to turn those negative beliefs around. Turn those negative beliefs around and yeah, screw your old beliefs, right? It's really, I love the way she writes. And she's not, she teaches you how to, create new scripts for yourself. And, like I've just got all like, look at all my little underlinings. I love to underline things. And Patrick's like, "Don't read my books because I don't want you messing them up with all the underlining." But, creating a new script is nothing more than making up a grand little daydream and stepping into it emotionally. That's the important part. You got to get into your daydream emotionally, or you're just blowing hot air. So it's just awesome stuff. So that's one of the books I've been reading, and I've really enjoyed it. And then the other one I started reading is I'm an Angelic Walk-In by my friend Candy Claire Huff.
I met one of these that talks about being an angel walk-in, and I'm, the idea of an angel is angels aren't never inhabited a human body. You know what I mean? That's what makes them an angel. And so, like, I don't know why they have to, like, just be a walk-in. Why can't you just be a walk-in? You know what I mean? Because to me, like, it kind of, doesn't it defy what an angel is? And they can't stop being an angel and become a human being or something. They can never be an angel again, or I don't know what the rules are, but I thought that the rule is that an angel, the distinction is that an angel has never inhabited a human body.
I'm not that far in the book.
Okay.
I'm only a couple chapters.
I bet she doesn't talk about that. I bet she doesn't talk about that.
Well, I don't know. But I really love this woman. I think she's an amazing lady. I've talked with her many of hours, and I I think the book is fantastic so far. Her first book, One
did
True
she have
Home.
a near-death experience or something, or what?
Yeah, she's had at least two. One when she was 5. One when she was like, I'm at that chapter now. I think she was like 13. She drowned. The first one, she hit her head when she was on the playground, and then the second one, she drowned, and then came back. Here's what I want to say about it. I don't necessarily understand how it happens, but I believe it to be possible. And
I believe that walk-ins are possible, but I believe they're a lot more rare than, like, everybody's a freaking walk-in lately, it seems. You know what I mean? And so I'm not saying that about your friend, but like when you throw in this bit about the angel being an angel who walks in. Is that what she means? Like she like an angel walked into her and exchanged places with her?
Yeah. So when she was on the previous soul, this was only the first human. If I'm understanding correctly, it's her first human incarnation. It's a very young soul, and she, when she was on the other side, Angel Ariel was like her, I guess you would call it guardian. Like we have, we call her, we say we have guardian angels. So that was her guardian angel over there. And why she was here, in her previous, the previous soul, obviously forgot who she was. I'm not to the point in the book where Angel Ariel decided to make that, that transition or that swap, I guess you would call it, into the human body. So
not only is it an angel, it's an archangel?
Yeah. Archangel Ariel. Yep.
Okay. All right.
So it's a very, very, very good book. The way she writes is just really, it really holds.
I think that my thing is just I'm not trying to be an asshole, you know what I mean? I don't dispute that. I just think that sometimes we can only describe something in the way that we feel it. So she may be feeling, it's not unlike when remember when I asked you, I go, so how is it that you're channeling Gaia? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
and
exactly.
And it's like, so if you're getting the notion, so who knows who you're channeling? To you, it's Gaia. We accept that at face value. So with somebody who doesn't necessarily have a way to explain it, and to them they feel like that they have had an angel, because really it's not your friend talking anymore. It's the angel.
Right.
So your friend is Angel Ariel. You're friends with Archangel Ariel.
That's right.
God is getting me for that. God is getting me for that. And so I think that I'm just trying to sit up right now. I'm not disputing that there's been an exchange of souls at all. You know what I mean? I do believe that there's walk-ins and stuff like that. And I just haven't been able to wrap my head around how an angel does it. And still keeps their job as an archangel over there. And no, I understand we can be in a billion places at one time and there's no time or space and blah, blah, blah. But you would think that Ariel would just assign some other, like, little angel to go and take care of whatever needs to be taken care of.
Well, and I believe all things to be possible because I've had so many bizarre experiences in my life. I don't think anything's outside the realm of possibility.
Listen, I'm not convinced that angels aren't aliens.
I believe they are absolutely 100% aliens.
Well, okay, so they are aliens to the extent that they're extraterrestrial, to the extent that they are not from Earth. Okay?
That's right.
That's what we now if aliens are angels, then we have to throw out this dogma that talks about angels have never occupied a body, because if angels, you and me may have been another life form as well, another species.
I think as sweet
human.
as I am, I must have been an angel.
So to the extent that if it is accurate that angels are, and I'm not talking about the archangels and the Bible angels and all that stuff, but that angels are ETs in the sense that we understand ET, not just the sense that they're not from here.
Right.
God would be an ET too then, you know what I mean? Like, and that kind of thing. But then, to me, it's possible. It's possible to have an ET swap and do the walk-in thing. Then we have to look at now has what happened, because when we see a lot of these alien shows, then we see a lot of these like what's the word I'm looking for? Where they like this little parasite crawls into them, and there's a word for that, which is eluding me at the moment. I know the word, but and sort of takes over their body, and it's not with their agreement. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so then we have to look at all of that. Not possession in the devil way, but possession, yeah, like when you're taking something without permission, like somebody's body, then, now for her, now on a soul level, there can be a time when a person has come with a set of goals or prints or whatever you want to call it, and for whatever reason that's happened during their life, they aren't able or willing to complete their contract. But
right.
Yet maybe they're positioned in such a way that some of the objectives that were assigned to that life have to be done by that person.
Right.
In which case then an agreement can be made to swap souls. Another soul comes in to complete the mission. It's like like a tag team wrestling match or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so the tag happens, the new soul comes in, and they complete. Now, does your friend in her book talk about, like, there's some key signs I look for when I'm looking at people who talk about being a walk-in. And so what, like, does she describe, have you gotten to the point where she's described her experience of waking up with a new soul inside of her?
No, but I know from an interview I did with her last year. She was the cover of the Bella Spring magazine. I want to say it was October, and I did the article for her. Now I'm going off of memory, but she remembers when it happened, and she woke up, and she remembers walking out to the kitchen and going, "I wouldn't eat this food," and she's like, but because they come in with the imprint of they know their name, they know they have family, they know they have children, and they remember birthdays, and and she says she remembers going to the closet and going, "I wouldn't wear these clothes," and then like the whole, like she spent the first 3 or 4 months just like in a dazed and confused state, like she was living a life that didn't belong to her. And then she met a gentleman in, Australia is where she lived, and she met a guy who said he was a dragon that recognized her and was able to tell her exactly what happened to her and why she couldn't remember anything about her life. As far as like couldn't put the pieces together on why things weren't making sense and why she didn't.
Now the interesting, and so there you go. Like that's part of what I look for is now I've heard it be even worse, where they don't remember their family people and stuff like this. And I'm told
I am told that a good majority of people that have walk-in souls, they end up committing suicide because they can't handle the life. Like they can't
that
handle.
there defeats that right there. See, and it's only my belief, so I could be way up my ass here, okay? There's a few things. Number one is that I believe that these things are much more rare than a lot of people that are running around saying, I'm a walk-in, okay? And I think that these are in very extreme circumstances where something definitely needs to be done on a certain timeline was assigned to me, for example. Let's say it's me. Now, I'm 50 years old now, hey? It's like they can't, if I chose to quit now, right, without achieving whatever that thing is that's critical, it can't wait another 50 years. Like
right.
Like it might need to be done by a 51-year-old woman or something like this, right? So it can't wait until another birth comes, another soul comes, and wait another 50 years for them to be, and I think that these are on a very high level. You know what I mean? Like it's a very high level agreement and contract to swap, and it's very serious. A new soul isn't going to come in. Like if we accept that the swap is happening in the first place because the existing soul calling it quits, right? A new soul isn't going to agree to come in if they're just going to turn and call it quits. I don't think. Now, sometimes I think too simplistically, but let me say this also. Since so many of these things happen on the heels of a trauma, either a physical or a psychological trauma, then we can't discount that a number of these that people think that they're a walk-in are simply amnesia or some other personality alteration as a result of whatever illness or injury. Now, my own example, after my head injury, like I went months and months without, I couldn't cry. Probably 3 years, I couldn't even cry. And I'm a crybaby. You know what I mean? I am a crybaby. And I wasn't laughing. My personality was gone. I wasn't recognizable by my friends as the person that they knew. But I still had my long-term memory intact. It was just my short-term memory that was screwed. And it took about 3 years with a post-concussional syndrome to have things settle down and have me gain most of my function back, So I think that in some cases, what we have is that we have legitimately medical situations where the trauma has caused, a personality alteration or a memory, an amnesia situation. And so then it becomes even more difficult to figure out what's what. You know what I mean? Because which of us can know that? You know what I mean?
Right.
And so it becomes a really big challenge. But for me, I've never heard that about, I've heard people talk about, I heard that, the guy that went and was swinging a machete around at the airport trying to kill people was a walk-in. I'm all like, that would not be a walk-in to me. Walk-in is a sacred, high-level, spiritual contract to, for good, in my opinion. If it's like that, then otherwise it's a possession. And sure, it's possible that a bad entity is getting inside somebody and making them go do bad things, okay? But it's also possible that psychiatric problems are causing people to do these things. You know what I mean? And and it's not unlike with even psychics and mediums. A lot of times, we have to ask ourselves, how many people that when they're younger that get diagnosed with multiple personality disorder or schizophrenia are actually really conversing with spirits, or ghosts, right? Dead people. And are they being misdiagnosed? And so it's a fine line, and I'm just asking everybody to be aware and then use your own discernment. And I can't say I absolutely reject, but to me it's illogical, Lisa, that this thing would happen, because I think it's a big deal to have a soul swap. You know what I mean? Why would the new soul come in and then commit suicide and then probably not achieve what the whole reason for the swap was?
It's my understanding, because I've kind of done some looking into it. I had never met anybody that has said that this has happened to them. So, in talking about it, it's, it was very confusing and very scary to her to not recognize her life, and she was in such a spiral downward. It would have been easy to just check out again, kind of thing, right? But the thing is the communication that was done, like during dream time and meditation and things like that was, heaven basically is saying, don't waste the body. Let us come in. Let us have the body. You can come home. You can end your contract now. Just come home. Just, rest, do whatever. Nothing will be held against you. And then we'll send, someone down in order to take the body and do with it what we need. They don't have walk-ins that come into infants, because those are new, those can be, any soul, because they have to still go through the childhood process. But having someone walk into an adult body, that's when it happens, because, walk-ins don't need to go through that whole beginning phase of life, right? They need an adult being where they can actually act and do the things that they came here to do. And she talked about, she hasn't, I'm only to the point where she's age 13, so, but she talked about, oh my God, I just completely lost my train of thought. But she talked about,
yeah.
Well, in the book, I'm only to the point where she's 13 years old.
Yeah.
But I remember her talking about how confused and how scared she was when she woke up, not recognizing her life at all, like perceivably not recognizing anything.
Yeah,
not recognizing anything. And, that'd be kind of scary.
Right. And in fairness, you would have a similar situation with any amnesiac waking up from whatever it was. And there's their husband standing over their bed, and they're like, who are you? And they're like, I'm your husband. No, you're not. And and they don't even know where they are or why they are or where they are. And then they get reintroduced to what they do for a living, or that they have children, or that, whatever it is, right? And so it's interesting. And who am I? So now we have this angel walk-in, Ariel. Okay, so I interrupted you, and then I took us on this long and winding, what would you think that an angel would have a reason to come here to do that another soul wouldn't be able to?
I don't know. I just know that, when we talk.
Does your friend have any idea what her mission is? Because there's a mission. I believe that there's a mission involved. That's the reason for the swap in the first place.
This is a really interesting time. Even if you listen to like Corey Good or, some of these other people that are doing these shows like on Gaia TV and Andrew Bartzis, the time we're living in now, there's never been a time like it, right? And there's so many timelines converging right now that, there's very critical things that are happening that could shift humanity in a really big way. And I don't see it as being impossible that they come in to help humanity ascend and not destroy ourselves. So she has a huge mission here, I'm imagining so. And it's, I can imagine that, it's, Dragon.
I can only overall humanity, then I would expect that kind of a walk-in on that level to occur with a hugely prominent, wildly popular, somebody who commands an audience of millions or the following of millions, because they can influence that. Otherwise, we have all kinds of stories out there about alien intervention on a governmental level of, remember all the stories in the past about how many times nuclear war has been averted due to due to alien interference, or I shouldn't say interference, but you know what I mean. So, what's your friend's what's her position in life? Like, who does she have an audience with?
Well, she's a Reiki master. She's she's a radio show host. Let me just read her. She's a Reiki practitioner, angel practitioner, international radio show host, clairvoyant. She's an international speaker, writer, and author who's helping raise consciousness of individuals so they can connect to their divine eternal nature. And she established Angel Healing House in 2003 after her angelic walk-in experience and became known for her extraordinary ability to channel messages from the angelic realm in a natural, straight-shooting style. She is loved and admired around the world for her profound powers of healing and personal transformation. And she has a weekly radio show called Angel Healing House program on Blog Talk. So, Candy Claire Howe.
Yeah, we're on her Facebook. We're on her website there. Now, you know when she came to a conclusion that, at what age was she that she decided she was an angel and it was Ariel, and was this all when she was 13, or was
No. That doesn't happen until, she's in her 50s, 60s.
Oh, her interest in angels pre-existed her conclusion that she's an angel walking.
Say that again?
I say that her interest in angels pre-existed her conclusion that she's an angel walking, an angelic walking.
As a child, she saw spirit. Yeah, as a child, she saw spirit. She saw fairies. Yeah. She communed with all nature, and shut it down because nobody believed her.
Mm-hmm. And but you see, what I'm getting at here is, like, let's say that you were, it's my belief that wherever somebody's interest is, their passion or whatever, because when we joke about this on the show, we go, like, let's say we get static on the line or we get bad sound on the show, okay? This happens every day on Blog Talk and everywhere. You know what I mean? They're not on every show every day, but every day. If you're a regular listener, there's some kind of, Now, if you're at a psychic medium show, then they're all, our energy's so strong that the spirits are so active here tonight that they're causing the phone lines to be that way. If you're at a paranormal show and they're all about the ghosts and everything like this, then they're all like, the ghosts. If you're at a government conspiracy show, then they're like, the Illuminati doesn't want us talking about this, or the government doesn't want us talking about this. They're trying to shut us down. If you're at a demonologist show, then the demons don't want you talk. You know what I mean? And so my point is that if her interest were in aliens or in some other thing, I'm wondering if now let's say she's a walk-in, and I'm just saying that she maybe identifies with being an angel walk-in because she has a deep interest for a long time in angels or something like that. You know what I mean? I'm wondering if that has swayed her conclusion.
I don't know. I don't know how to answer that.
And either way, it's not making her a liar, you know what I'm saying? Like, or anything like that. But you can see how you can take the same phenomena and then go take it into different genres, and then they spin it into that's, you know what I mean? And so I was just wondering if, to what extent
when we've been out at the stables, so this is a perfect example. We've been out at the stables, and driving out there, my husband's like, I feel like something weird's going to happen today, and I don't know what's good. I just feel like something's weird. And we go out to Serendipity Stables, which has healing horses. So we get out there, and there's this gentleman, and his wife were there, and we had never met them before. And he introduces himself as a Draconian.
Uh-huh.
as a dragon from a Draconian. I'm like, oh, well, that's cool. I've never, met somebody from Draco before that introduces herself like that. So that's cool. And then, he did something, and it really messed I was married to Patrick at the time. And, he does massage therapy. And, so he would just walk up to people and he would start massaging them without really asking permission to do so. And he did this to Patrick, right?
Oh,
and Patrick
God.
just felt like this zap on him. He just felt like something like attached to him or something. So he came up to me and he was like panic stricken, and we went outside. We did some work on him, and so then later on, the guy came up to him and he says, he goes, I didn't come here to take you away in a spaceship. He said, I'm just here doing my work just like everybody else is, and then I'll leave.
Lucky that he doesn't get his head punched in by people. If he did that anywhere else but at like a spiritual conference type of a gathering, he'd probably get the shit kicked out of him. So now one of these days we're going to see that as the defense on Nancy Grace for some guy that's molesting somebody, you know what I mean? Oh, I was just, doing my work, spiritually touching. I was blessing and healing the person. That would not go well with me. Nobody should touch nobody without, you know what I mean? And,
so there's all kinds of interesting things out there, and there's people doing things that, there's a gal here in town that, says she's channeling, she does channel sessions, and she's channeling people from Atlantis or something like that. And it's like, and then I look at that and I think, I'm batshit crazy. I am absolutely batshit crazy. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, because it's just, it's like, when you see somebody else saying that they do something like that, it's kind of like, do I really do this? There's been times I've told Patrick, I said, I'm done. I got to walk away from all of this because it's just nuts. I want to go back. I want to go back to having my normal little life. Oh, yeah. You guys are good. You're not giving me a hard time.
Listen, you are channeling, and I'm not, and that's my whole thing. I don't know who everybody's channeling. I don't know if they all know who they're channeling. It's not unlike when we get callers that go, can you tell me what my spirit guide's name is? And I'm all like, your spirit guide doesn't care what you call it. Pick a name, stick to the name, and that's fine. And we tell people, close your eyes, ask your spirit guide what's your name, and the first name that comes to you, that's their name. So why couldn't that be the way it is when you guys are channeling and you don't know at first what the heck? And so you got the idea that it's guide. Like, channeling is happening. I'm not going to doubt that, okay? Now it says to who, right?
Yeah, right.
Because, again, I always have to wonder, like, why does there have to be 586,324 people channeling Mary Magdalene? It doesn't make sense to me. I know. I channeled that number. I just channeled that number. And so don't doubt that, you're not making the channeled information up. And now I can say to you that having spoken having been involved in that one call, and I, of course, my attitude was changed in a real hurry as soon as Gaia said how smart I was, Then, of course, I'm like, wow, this is totally authentic, and that's coming right from Gaia. And so, because I was asking some good questions. And so there's no doubt that that's the thing I'm looking for when I'm listening to a channeler, is especially if I know the channeler enough that I know what their usual style of speaking is, what their thoughts on things are, because I really do feel like that you get surprised by some of the answers you get, and that some of the answers that come out are different than what you would give if you were conscious and that question was coming to you. And there's nothing in the cadence or, whatever of the conversation that I'm picking up that's, you faking anything or anything like that. So something's going on.
I did a call for it. I had several appointments today, and the one lady, most of them were by phone, and the lady, it's the third time I've talked to her, and she's like, you've almost been 100% accurate in all of my previous conversations with you. And I said, well, I'm not God. I'm not God, and I can only give you what I can give you at the moment that things are happening. And at the moment I become 100% accurate, God damn, I better hit that lottery.
We're all God.
I'm heading to Vegas.
We're all God.
The one beautiful thing about the existence here is we all have free will, and we can change anything that anyone says to us. And I love that. That's the one thing I do love about being a human. It's like, what, if I don't like it, I can change it. And, so my ego was excited to hear this woman say those words, but at the same time, I'm humbled to do this work. When people come to me to ask for guidance or for help, I just do the best I can to get out of the way so Spirit can answer through me. And a lot of times, there are times I wonder, who is this talking? Who's doing this talking? Because this isn't how I would say things, and I wouldn't say it that way. I find myself, and then the fact that I don't remember half of what I say to people, it's like, I don't remember saying that. She's like, oh, well, don't you remember saying that and that and that? And I'm like, no, I don't remember any of that. But I remember one time we did a hypnosis on a friend of ours when we were getting our certification, and she brought forward information from ISIS, and ISIS said, I would have to go back and read my transcript, but ISIS said that she has an aspect of her energy has incarnated into over 100,000 humans that are on the planet at this time. So when people say, I'm ISIS or I'm this or I'm that, I really believe that some of these energies are here. I really do. Call me crazy, but I really do believe that they're here. And do I believe they're in just one person? No. I believe they can be in multiple people. That's the beauty of who they are. Interesting to hear what you have to say about that.
I've heard it talked about, with reincarnation, that, you get a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this soul. I like to think that the soul always remains intact, There's those times when you have an injury or a psychological injury or something that might cause you to lose a piece of your soul, or this whole soul retrieval stuff. But even that gets used and abused too much, in my opinion, But really what we're talking about there then is that, let's take the soul, and so now let's take the soul, and so the soul leaves my body. Now it's all goes into millions of bits or something, and a little bit goes there, and a little bit goes all over, and it winds up in 10,000 different people next time. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. Then I don't have my own soul, you know what I mean? Then, and who knows? Who knows? I don't know.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's so many things. Listen, I always tell people, when I'm dead, we'll talk about it, because I'll come back and I'll tell you all the answers.
Yeah. Well, I always say when we're all dead, we'll all sit over on the other side and say, shit, we were all wrong, you know what I mean? And we were all right. We were all right and we were all wrong, or whatever the deal is, And it's called the Great Mystery for a reason, hey? And it's interesting to me, but
yeah, it is. It is all very interesting.
But, I have a hard enough time when somebody says, my guide is Archangel or my guide is Archangel. But to say, like, I am Archangel, like, I'm walking and now I'm Archangel Ariel or whatever, like, that blows my mind. It kind of, not saying it can't be. I'm not saying your friend's lying or anything else at all. I'm not trying to.
That's the beauty. That is the beauty of this planet. You are entitled to your free will opinion. I happen to believe she's an amazing being, whether she is or isn't. Right. Who am I to say?
And I'm not commenting on how, that she's not an amazing being. I'm not saying she's deliberately lying or misleading or, trying to capitalize on anybody or anything. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, I don't know.
When you had made the comment, why wouldn't they come through to someone that had a better perspective on life and,
those weren't my words, but
a caliber of, already
like
has
a bigger audience.
Bigger audience. I think it's coming. I think her audience is coming. I feel it is. I feel she'll have a really grand audience and
somebody in a position of power that can affect the change or whatever it is, And what I'm not meaning about because listen, there's a lot of people that have audience of millions that aren't a good character at all. You know what I mean? So I'm not talking about the quality of somebody's character or their likability or their honesty or integrity or anything else. I'm saying if the purpose of an archangel or reincarnating into a human or doing a soul swap with a human body to be here and walking as a human being on Earth is to effect some great massive change, then I only wonder why wouldn't they be walking in on somebody that is in a position to affect that great change that they need. Because I do a radio show, I don't think that I'm in a position to sway, more than 25 people at a time or something like that. You know what I mean? And even out of that group of 25, maybe 18. And the other ones think I'm halfway up my ass all the time on it. So, even if you have hundreds or thousands, that is peanuts if you're trying to do a global, I'm talking on the level of Mother Teresa or, somebody at that same level, you know what I mean? Who if they said, and I'm going to say Oprah. I'm not saying Oprah's the one, but Oprah says read a book. All of a sudden, it's the top side. That's the kind of influence I'm talking about. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not saying pick Oprah, but I'm just saying that's what I'm trying to get at in terms of if you're trying.
It's my understanding. A walk-in, your life has to be crumbling to the point where you want to check out. So that particular person isn't going to be someone that has high influence. Now, are they? Right, so there's someone,
Well, that's not true. Like, look at Robin Williams, or look at any other people that you know what I mean are in what we would perceive. They have huge, whatever. And don't forget, it can also happen to somebody who's having an accident. The reason for their near-death experience doesn't have to be that. It's like, let's say that they die. Okay, they have a car accident and they die. Now they're at the pearly gates or whatever. Okay, and no, I don't believe in pearly gates, but I'm trying to say. And then they're given 3 doors. We had somebody the other day talk about 3 doors, and one door is go back to your life. Door 2 is heaven. Door 3 is hell or whatever. Okay. And maybe an option at that point is maybe the soul is going, I am tired. Since I'm here already, I wouldn't have picked to die today, but since I have, I think I'll stay done. And then an opportunity could come because we still have a need for your body and blah, blah, blah. So a soul swap can happen then. It doesn't have to be in the life of somebody that's, contemplating suicide or at such dire straits.
That's true too. That's true.
Like it could be a president, look at when Reagan got shot, or when or anybody like that, See, JFK, that would have been interesting. JFK gets shot, blah, blah, comes back to life as a walk-in, blah, 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 or whatever. You know what I mean?
Have you ever heard of Anita Morjani?
Why does that name?
The book she wrote was Dying to Be Me. She was the one who was stage 4 cancer and went in, and they called the family in, and she was in a coma and actually went through the death process. Crosses over, and she gets to a certain point, and they say, if you cross this line, you can never return. But if you go back, we'll allow your physical body to be completely healed. Right. And she went back to her body, and it did. But she's got scientific proof of all the tests and all the X-rays of all the tumors in her body, and everything's gone. And now she travels the world. She's part of the Hay House tour. I think she does even other things like Amy does a past life group. Afterlife group. Yeah, I think she's even gone to the afterlife thing. But
there you go.
So who knows what she is? Who knows if she didn't come back in as something other than the soul that left out of that body? That would be interesting to learn more about that. And but her book is really good too. I read it a long time ago.
A couple years ago when it first came out. If we could talk and we can meet up with all these people and we can find out that, hey, you've always felt like an outsider. Hey, I've always felt like an outsider. Oh, you had a tough childhood, or I had a tough childhood too, and you had the. You have attention deficit problems, and things bore you, and did you have trouble in school with teachers, and me too. And then now, you can go online and you can look up what are the traits of an indigo child, and you'll find all that. But then on the other hand, you can look up the traits of indigo child. Look up the traits of people who have had ET experiences. Okay? You're going to find out that almost verbatim those lists concur. You know what I mean? So again, so now it's in the eye of the reader. So now let's say I'm a person that's been an outsider all of my life and blah, 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 and I stumble into a little spiritual place and somebody mentions indigo children or somebody mentions this, and I go look it up and I go, wow, I'm an indigo child. Now I've self-diagnosed that I'm an indigo child. Aww. I love
I'm
that
going to soften you up, Chris. You're getting a little mean. I wanted to soften you up with my little peachy face.
I'm not getting mean. I'm not getting mean.
No, I'm just kidding.
Dragging that dog is my spirit guide.
I call it smooshy face time.
Yeah. So you know what I mean, though, is like that. A lot of these different labels that are out there for people, if you go and look up the traits that are being attributed to those, they're common. And so now it's about what list do you read first, and then you adopt that as being because you go, yeah, and then that list says, if you can check off 40 out of these 50 items, then you probably are fill in the blank, and so I don't know.
Yeah. I know. And the thing is they overuse some of these, some of the terms, they get overused, and then it's like, what do you do with it, And that's where you use discernment, right? We use discernment, and we decide, does that feel right? Does that feel right to me? And if it does, and everything's subject to change. My belief is always subject to change based on new items that are coming in, right?
Well, and what your friend there, think doesn't really affect my life. So I'm not going to get all hot and bothered. I haven't gotten there's times when I get into a passionate, aggressive argument on air with people and stuff, and that's not this. You know what I mean? It's just. And so who people say, it doesn't affect my life, and so I'm okay with them. If that's what they think they are, who am I to say, you know what I mean? And as long as they're not hurting anybody, then it's cool,
Right.
Listen, it's 20 after 9. If there's anybody that's on the phone right now that's calling for a reading, or you want to get in on this discussion, or you have a question about the discussion, or anything like that, then, okay, Dragon wants a reading. Hey, Corrine, I'm going to bring Dragon on. Are you okay to go and do a reading for Dragon for, I almost said Darren again. David? For David? Lisa?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you were talking to Corrine.
No, I'm going to bring him on, and I'm going to have a little private chat with Corrine. I'm going to ask her to do me a favor here. And what that favor is going to be is I'm going to see if she's going to be willing to come on and anchor the rest of this. I want to, while there's still time and there's a store open, I'd like to dash out and see about getting like some kind of off-the-shelf muscle relaxer or something like that, and pick up a couple of other things. So if Corrine's willing to, Corrine, I'll just ask her now since I have. All right, Corrine, are you willing to come on and just like be on air with Lisa? And people can unmute your damn selves if you want to, okay. So we're going to let Corrine come on. You know how to unmute your own self. If I'm not back at overtime, then you guys carry on conversing or leave or do whatever you want to do. And I'll try my best to get back.
Yourself.
Unmute your own damn self. And people know, if you're on the phone, you unmute your own damn self by pressing the 1 button. And if you're in the chat room, you unmute your own damn self by clicking on your own microphone. And that's how you mute and unmute yourself. Corrine is there. Hi, Corrine. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay, so I'm going to... Oh, thanks, Lisa, in case I don't get back in time. And thank you. And I'm going to leave you guys to it, okay?
Okay, thanks, Chris.
All right.
Are you coming on video?
No, I look like holy hell, so no.
Yeah, we've had this makeup discussion before. The only reason I'm on video tonight is I had clients I had to put makeup on for. Here, Pill, I'm going to put you back down. That's the only reason. I got to thinking about that. I'm like, I can't see these clients. But especially if it's new people I'm seeing, I don't want them to see me without makeup. But then if it's once they've gotten to see me before and it's an ego thing, I'm like, oh, it's okay. You know me now, so it's all right. You can see me without makeup. If you guys want to see what I look like without makeup, it's all over Facebook because I never wear makeup kayaking, so you can go there and look at it. I just don't like to do it on here. For some reason, if anybody has, like, health tips on bags under the eyes, I swear, I don't know what the heck is happening. The bags under the eyes.
Well, you know what, Lisa? I'm gonna tell. Yeah, I got help for you in that department, but I'll tell you later. So anyway, does Dragon want to come on because he wants to get a reading for you? Dragon, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. I'm here.
Okay, go ahead.
But your name's not Darren.
No, it's David.
David. Okay. All right.
So,
do you have a question for me, David?
I was curious if you could connect me with my spirit guides or angels.
My goodness. You have a lot going on. Now, here's what I'm going to say about this. You are very connected. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
I feel like you're all, it's oftentimes people will ask me a question like this and I'm like, I'm not sure why you're asking because you're already connected. And I feel like the only way I can describe this is I recently painted our condo and it's like nothing's on the walls, nothing. We haven't decided what we're going to put back up, if anything. We like just nothing on the walls right now. And I just see like this line of people that just showed up as if they all just came for you. And it's like the only way I can describe this is when you talk, you command an audience, and you have an audience with you, and there's like 10, I'm hearing the number 10, there's like 10 beings that come with you and go with you everywhere you go. Does that make sense to you, that you have that many guides and angels that are in direct contact with you all the time?
Yes, it does. Is there any of them that stand out?
2. I just saw 2 stand forward, and they're not, one's not trumping the other, and there's 2 that come forward. And this is interesting because it's almost like, I'm just going to say it the way I see it. It's kind of like a good and evil. I saw like a Darth Vader, and then I saw like the Luke Skywalker, right? Where it's both sides of you, like the yin and the yang. But they come together as a balance for you. What are you here for? You're here to do really cool things. You like command attention everywhere you go. What do you do for a living?
I actually work on computers for a living right now, but I'm trying to change careers and get into something more worthwhile.
Okay.
I want to do something to help people.
Yeah, you really are connected, is the feeling I keep getting, is that again, I see this Darth Vader figure, and then I see this Luke Skywalker. Is because I just watched all the Star Wars. I've never watched them when they first came out, and I watched all of them in 3 weeks. So there's this five from one side, 5 from the other, but yet there really is no good and bad, right? And that's just a judgment. That's judgments that humans use to identify things in a polarity and the duality that we live in. But right. Where you're from, it's like it's your right brain, left brain kind of thing. It's like it's what keeps you balanced. You're here to provide balance. That's interesting. I've never seen this before. You're a very interesting person. You're here to provide balance. You're here to provide people contrast. I'm hearing the word contrast, like the polarity for people. You're here to not always be the yes man, but to be the one that there has to be a leader so people can follow. And I feel like you're the person who's supposed to be stepping forward as that leader. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I guess it does. It's something I hesitate to do because I've accidentally run cults before.
You've run what?
I've accidentally run a cult before.
Okay. What do you mean by that?
I mean, I stepped forward and had people following me blindly for stuff that they shouldn't have been following me for.
Got it. That's that, right? That's where you yourself and your humanness need to find balance in where you're leading people.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You're very powerful. I mean, there are a lot of people on this planet here that are very powerful in their ability to persuade and their ability to lead, and you're no exception to that rule. And that's where you have to be careful in how you lead people and where you're leading them to. And kudos to you for recognizing what you were doing. Right? That also comes with your connection to spirit. You're very good. I could be sitting here getting a reading from you. Do you do this?
I do sometimes, but I don't really look at myself as a reader.
Okay.
I tend to just be more intuitive about people, and I use that to kind of steer my life.
Do you have a staff that you work with? What would I call that? I just have to call it a staff, like a walking stick?
I used to, but I lost it in the move.
Okay. Did it have some kind of ornate top on it?
No, not really. It had some wrapping done on it with leather and stuff and some feathers and things like that, but nothing really ornate.
Okay. Well, I'm seeing something very special about it. Okay. And when you moved, when you say, did it just get misplaced? Did it just get lost?
Yeah, it got left behind a door frame, and we didn't see it when we were moving out. We had to move in a hurry, and it was just one of those things. When I got where we were going, I realized it was missing, and where exactly it was, I knew I could see it in my mind where it was.
It's trying. Listen to me. It is trying to find its way back to you. As weird as that sounds, it is trying to find its way back to you. So I would encourage you to circle back around to those people who tried that already. Are you there?
I'm in the middle of
David,
reconnecting.
did I lose you?
Yeah, I'll be.
Did I lose everybody?
I'm back now.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
It was just a blip.
Okay. All right.
I missed what you said, though.
Okay. So, have you tried to retrieve the item? Have you tried to retrieve that staff? Because I feel like if you tried to go back to them, they might cooperate with you in giving it back to you.
Well, it's in Iowa, and I'm in Texas.
Okay. Listen, it's still worth a phone call. I'm telling you, that staff wants you. It wants to find its way back to you. Okay, so I'm going to leave you with that. I'm encouraging you to, just to reach out to wherever it was you were, even if it's just writing a letter saying that you'll pay for, shipping and handling to have it sent back. If it's something that they would consider doing. I just feel like what I want to encourage you to do is take as much quiet time as you can, scheduling a minimum of like 10 minutes a day, just sitting in quiet contemplation of where it is you're supposed to be going and what your next steps are. Because I do feel like you're supposed to be leading people, but you do have to be very careful where you're leading and how you're leading them. Because people listen and they want to follow you. And again, I'm giving you kudos for realizing that you were, people were following you blindly. I really do. I give you kudos for that. But just making sure that you're staying in balance with all of the information that you're sharing, and taking care of yourself, because I do feel like there's some undue stress that's happening in your life, and these are things that are controllable. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay. What questions, hon?
What's that?
Do you have any questions for me besides that? Anything about what I've said?
I'm just kind of curious more about the two sides thing you saw. Did you see what?
You've never seen this before. Go ahead.
I mean, did you get any indication of what kind of, were they aspects of me, or are they external things? Are they guides, or what is it?
I've never seen this before, so let me just keep delving a little deeper. I've never seen this before, because there's literally 5 standing on this side and 5 standing on this side, and they all work together. They're all working together, but they're the only way I can describe it in human terms is that they're from different sides. So it's almost like you're 2 beings in one body. That's just random. It's like, it's like the double helix of the DNA winding down. One strand is these beings and one strand is these beings. And I do feel like I'll call them teachers. We could also use the term guides, but I hear they're teachers. And I feel like you need to be taking pen to paper and communicating with them, because they're going to bring wisdom from both perspectives. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, that's interesting.
It is very interesting. Like I said, you are a very interesting person. I've never seen this before. and I'm not,
unique.
Unique. Yeah, unique is definitely a good word for that. Unique. And that's not a bad thing. It's just, I mean, and that, again, bad is a judgment, right? It's just, I myself have not seen this before in another human. Now, it's interesting that you go by the tag name Dragon. Do you know where your, like, I'll call it planet of origin is? I mean, do you know if you're from Draco or anything like that? I mean, is it or Andromeda or any of that?
Not entirely clear on what you're talking about there. I'd rather not really say.
Okay, that's fine. That's absolutely fine.
The tag name comes from something else that happened in my life. It was an experience with near death that brought me to that name.
Okay, cool. Well, I feel like you're here to provide a lot of wisdom and knowledge to humanity, and it's from a perspective that I have yet to see taught in this way through one person. So it'd be interesting to see what comes out of you. And I would ask you to start writing. I mean, and start communicating with these higher beings, because I don't believe that they're, I mean, obviously if they're guides, they're aspects of you, right? But it's right. Interesting that they're coming through kind of like a council almost, right? It's like...
Yeah, I was going to ask if it was like a council.
It is. It's like a council. It's like your council. But I've not seen anybody have their whole council as their team that's working with them as the, like, first-hand team. So that's pretty damn awesome. Which tells me that you're, misappropriating your talents.
Yeah, I'm good at that.
You're doing your human job, which is, doing a job that pays your bills and those types of things. But your spiritual job is really suffering because of the need to do the human things.
Yes, I felt that for some time.
So I think through doing some journaling, writing, you're going to be able to bring things forward fairly quickly and identify a plan that will hopefully move you out of that whole corporate world altogether, so that you can just be doing your spiritual work and what you came here to do.
Great, I'll give that a try.
Yeah, that's awesome. You're a very, very awesome person. Awesome.
David, can I ask you something?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know who George is?
George?
Yeah.
Like St. George?
Mm-hmm.
I know who St. George is.
But there's no George in your life?
No, I try to avoid Georges.
Why?
St. George and the Dragon.
Oh my God! All right, because that name came to me, but now that you say St. George and the Dragon, maybe that's why the name came to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I thought that was one of the people.
Well, it could be. I haven't got the names of all of them yet.
Have you seen the beings I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay. So this is just a good confirmation for you then, that they're there and they're loud and ready to work. They're just waiting on you.
Yeah, I don't so much see them so much as I get a sense of them. Like I can feel them standing at my back when I do things.
Yeah.
It's like having your own personal army,
Yeah, that is really awesome.
Well, thank you for the reading and for
and what would you like to do to help other people?
Mostly, like she said, to help people find their balance and to help them learn how to process life before it happens to them. It's like I don't want to counsel people after after stuff's already gone wrong. I want to help people learn to deal with things before it goes wrong so that they can have a happier, healthier life.
Okay. That's cool.
Does that make sense?
Well, you can do that. Yeah, it makes total sense. And you can do that. You know, you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to make plans to make it happen. I mean, it's easy. For me, at least, I don't know if you'll agree with me, but it's as easy for him as 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And it will happen. You can do this. You know what I mean?
You know, and Corinne's written several books, and she's quite a distinguished writer, you know, with all of her awards and everything. But you know what? She didn't wake up one day having a published book. It took one step at a time for her to put pen to paper and to work with her team and to allow those words to flow through her. So too, it'll happen with you, David, is you just have to set aside that time and not be afraid of putting yourself out there, because I feel like there's something in you that's from maybe a past life experience where you were chastised and most likely killed, beheaded for doing your work. So there's a part of you that when you start to step forward, all of a sudden you feel this restriction in your throat and your chest tightens, and there's this, I can't do this, right? And then you kind of fall backwards. Does that make sense?
Yes, that's exactly what happens.
So get in touch with Get in touch with whatever lifetime that happened in. Forgive those people who did that to you, and know that you came back in this time to fulfill what you couldn't do then. There's a different time now. People are listening. People are open to hearing messages unlike any other time in the timelines of all history. And you can do this. It's your time. It's your time.
Mm-hmm.
Are you feeling any of that, Kareen?
Yeah, I definitely think he's there. I think also what is coloring his attitude here is his past in this life, Lisa, where he was involved with the cult. And you know what I mean? So he's going to be a little bit shy with that. I understand that. But you know what? That was just background for what you're going to do now. That wasn't anything terrible. Nobody died, I don't think. And you're okay. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I'm just gun shy.
Okay, yeah. Well,
and you know, it's my belief that Spirit will give us opportunities to have experiences so that we will know how to manage things, right? So you were given this opportunity to know how to manage it, and so you'll know differently. That's all.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think so too.
You'll use it to your wisest ability this time because you knew the last time it was going awry. So this time you'll control it better, right? Like control isn't the right word, but you'll guide better. You'll stand up and be the leader that you really want to be versus the one you started to be before.
Right. I'm a different person, lessons learned and all that good stuff.
Exactly. So quit holding yourself hostage to that experience. Embrace it, forgive yourself, love yourself, and keep moving forward.
That's the hard part.
It's not hard.
It doesn't have to be hard. It's a choice for us to accept that it's hard. So all you have to do is change your mind and change your focus, right? And listen, like the little book, Excuse Me, Your Life is Waiting. You know, feel yourself making the decisions for yourself that are going to propel you in the direction that you want to go.
Okay.
It's just a matter of changing our mind, and we can sit here and say that's so easy to do, but I do get it.
No, you're totally right. I get what you're saying, and it makes complete sense. It's just a matter of putting it into practice, and that's something that I need to work on.
Yeah, and it's just like anything else. I mean, you didn't learn to ride a bike in a day, right? So you had to practice at it, and everything we do takes practice. Although I like to get things right the first time, it usually never happens that way.
Don't we all? Don't we all?
I just somehow like to repeat lessons over and over. So.
Apparently I do, Lisa. Is there anyone else on the call right now or that can unmute themselves that wants a reading from Lisa? I just want to make sure. If you are on the call and you would like a reading from Lisa, unmute yourself now, please. And I just wanted to make sure to cover that if there's anyone else that wanted a reading. So, but yeah, I mean, it is hard to change your mind and to, understand that it is within, your power to do this, to help people, to teach people, So, okay, Judy. Hi, Judy.
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay. So did you have a question, Lisa?
Well, I just kind of wanted to follow suit after Dragon on what my spirit guides may have to say.
Okay. Please don't take this the wrong way, but he is a hard act to follow because he had like the whole council go through.
Oh, yeah, I understand.
that is I'll call it about as rare for me as meeting a walk-in. It's just not. I'll call it common in the readings that I've done. For you, I'm seeing. My goodness, your energy is just so soft and pleasant. It's just really, really, you're such a sweetheart. It's like the whole room just completely shifted, and I'm just seeing all of this like. You must be very connected to the fairy realm. Can you confirm that for me? Or the nature realm, elementals?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it just like, it's a completely different feel where he's here to do very, what's the word I'm looking for? He's got to get down. He's got to get down to work and do it. You've got, unicorns and fairies and really light-hearted things that you're here to do. You're here to create fun. You're here to be fun. You're here to show people how to have fun. If you're not being artistic, that's a shame. It's something that if you're not being creative and have a creative outlet, I'm going to encourage you to find one because I just feel like there's, as I'm talking, I feel like you must have, do you have a little bit longer hair? Kind of curls like mine, but kind of longer. Do you have longer hair?
It's a little bit past my shoulders and it does get curly.
Okay. Is it more of a brown though? Not more of a brownish color, kind of like a muddy brown kind of color?
Yeah, it's dark brown.
Okay, that's perfect. Because I feel like they're going around and they're doing this with your hair. They're like pulling it up and they play with it all the time. So the beings that I'm seeing coming through are more of like an elemental realm, and they're very playful. They like to I'll call it mess with you, joke around with you. Here's what they're saying. You're taking life way too serious and you're not having enough fun. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I do.
What's going on right now that's got you held down? I'll call it held down, pinned down to the couch, like you're having a hard time getting up and getting motivated.
Probably just being busy with my kids as far as their needs.
Okay. It's okay to put yourself first every now and again and take care of mom time because I had a client here today and I said if you constantly give away all the life jackets and then you're left not with one for yourself, how can you continue to help? So it's okay to take to tell the kids I'm going to take I got 10 minutes of mommy time or a half hour of mommy time and lock yourself in the bathroom and let Calgon take you away and just take those moments to recharge, to plug back in and to stay connected to source because I feel like you're forgetting who you are, and that's why I feel like there needs to be more playtime. And I'm not talking about playtime with children. I'm talking about playtime for you, adult playtime. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. I just keep seeing something with the couch, though. What is it with the couch? Are you finding yourself, you can't be sitting if you've got kids you're chasing after.
Well, my kids are young adults.
Okay. Do you have a leather couch? You have a brown leather couch?
No,
Seeing a couch. That's random. I don't know. I don't know what that is, and I don't feel like it's. I don't want you sitting. I need you up, and I need you moving. I would encourage you to put in some music. Like when I used to clean the house at my old house, I would put Tina Turner in because it was the only thing that would get me motivated to clean. Right. So just finding yourself dancing around. Anything that can get you moving, get those lower centers moving, is going to be helpful for you. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I should probably get back to the gym too. I used to do that a lot.
Yeah, you're just kind of I got to use the word stuck. What are you stuck with? What are you not doing that you're supposed to be doing?
Probably exercising. I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, it's okay, really? Okay, here's what they just did. They were describing my couch and me being the couch potato, right? As to okay. So basically, going back to the whole, if you were online when I was talking about going to Hocking Hills and barely being able to get back out of the cave because, I was so out of breath and having to act like, oh, I got this. Look at this beautiful scenery. Meanwhile, where's my oxygen tank? That's a part of this, is that they're showing me being stuck on my couch to talk about you being stuck on yours. Need you out, need you moving, need you doing something that's going to get, the blood flowing and having fun and being creative, okay? Exercising doesn't have to be just going to the gym. It can be just, walking around the neighborhood, or, doing things like that, right? And there's even such a thing as, doing, you could do the yoga. I was listening to Wayne Dyer. Even though he's deceased, I still listen to, he still has all those videos and stuff on YouTube. And he was talking about how for 30 years he used to run 8 miles every day. And then when he got leukemia, he wasn't able to exercise anymore. But then he started doing, I may be getting the story a little bit mixed up, but he got into yoga. And for an hour and a half a day, he could do yoga and get as much of a workout as he did running for 8 miles every day. So it doesn't have to be a strenuous exercise plan for you to get moving and for you to have fun. But for some reason, they want you dancing. They want you up and they want you moving, and you've got all these fairies that are just playing with your hair, and they're just wanting to get you up, and they're wanting you to be outside. So as much as you can be in nature, so taking walks in nature, if you have parks like we have here, just taking a 15-minute walk in the park, just to breathe in nature is going to be fantastic for you.
Okay.
Oh, Zumba classes. I just happened to look up when I saw Christy put Zumba classes. Even something like that would be great. My God, do I have a lot of CDs that have never been out of the cellophane, and I could give you some videos. I needed to just sell them. I needed to just sell them on eBay. Don't buy videos you're not going to play. I just did this. I snookered, fell hook, line, and sinker for some other thing. I paid $40 for it. It's never even been out of the thing. Had 30 days to look at it, and that was like 60 days ago. So don't buy things you're not going to use. Just go outside and walk. It's just so much easier, and nature, the fairies want to play with you outside anyway. So,
well, can I say something, Lisa?
Absolutely.
When you said creativity, Judy, was there a time when you did paint pictures or something like that? Paint pictures?
No, I've never really. I'm artistic in different ways, but when it comes to drawing or painting, that's just not really my forte.
What would you like to, is there anything creative that you really like to do, but you're like, oh, I don't have time or whatever?
I would probably like to start dabbling in maybe like pottery or something like that.
Earth. Yep, it's earth stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that is like, you know, and I always say, I mean, I'm an author and I'm also an artist, and, you know, I always say that's our soul work, Judy. And it's like, when we ignore those parts of our lives, it's like, you know, man, that's like your soul work. It's like, you know, you need to create, you know, very important, you know.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised. I often tell people, you know, it's like Green saying, you know, you don't know what you like until you start trying things, right? So, I didn't even know I could paint, and I'm no Picasso, right? But my soul paints, and she has a blast doing it. But I didn't know I could do it until like 2 years ago when someone, you know, offered to teach me. And then, you know, I crochet. And I paint rocks. You know, I do little goofy things like that. But you may find that you start picking up minerals and you start wrapping them, and all of a sudden now you start selling jewelry because you love just wrapping stones, or maybe it is pottery, or you know, you just never know until you try. And around here, we have so many, like if you look at your different community centers, around here, each little town has its own community, and then the community center, and each community center offers classes. Some you have to pay for, some are free. And, you know, you just go, and it's like learn how to mix oils and make your own oils and sell them, and, you know, and it's not even about selling them, but it's more about just infusing the fun in your life. You know? Maybe it's learning how to make silk flower arrangements, or make cakes and decorate them, or, you know, and then once you learn how to do these things, then you turn it into, you can possibly turning it into a business, because now all of a sudden you can't afford to stay at your job because you're doing so well, having so much fun making these awesome things that, you know, or it could just be like, I recently bought myself a coloring book. I don't know if you guys, I'm sure you've seen these, but this is just an adult.
God. I saw that. Is so funny. I gave that to Renee when I met her in Arizona.
I just
that was so fun.
I haven't started doing it, but I mean, there's some amazing pages in here, and it's just coloring. It's just my soul wants to color. So, you know, it could be just something like that. Oh, and here's another fun thing. Look at this. Do you guys remember doing this as kids? Right?
Oh,
I
yeah.
bought an adult dot to dot. Right? And it's just, so here's an example. It's just, you know, pages of, and then you just, right? So, I mean, these are things that I do to be creative and let my inner child play. I'm going to be 50. I'm going to be 50 this year. I don't want to grow up. So, you just want to keep it, you know.
Yeah.
So you just want to keep, that's why all the fairies showed up. They want you playing, but playing doesn't have to cost a lot of money.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
and thank you for that. I will definitely.
I see Dragon putting the couch for coloring. You're not allowed to color on your couch. You got to be outside and color.
Yeah, exactly.
But Judy, do you not like to cook? Isn't that something you like to do?
Yeah, I cook a lot actually.
That's a real talent there. You can be creative in cooking, and I do see you cooking a lot. And I'm not trying to take over Lisa's reading here, but I'm saying,
no,
Yeah.
No.
that is like something that I really see you doing and excelling at. So, I mean, whatever the creative activity might be, and it could be a few, it should be a few, just like Lisa said, I mean, you gotta, this is like I said, that is like soul stuff, cooking is soul stuff. Everything that you're creating is soul stuff. And, so, I think it's fantastic if you would like delve into other, avenues of being creative,
Yeah,
Do you
absolutely.
feel the shift in yourself?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Do you feel the shift in yourself just by acknowledging some of the stuff? Do you feel that?
I feel lighter.
Yeah. I just felt a shift in you, and that's really good. That's movement in a positive direction, which is fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Judy has a real open mind. I've only seen her for maybe about a month now in the chat room and other chat rooms, but you seem like you have a real open mind and you're like willing to really take that, leap and try new things. So I think you seem really cool, Judy,
Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I will definitely start getting my butt off the couch.
Good job.
Yeah.
And I will too, Judy.
Good.
Let's pinky swear to each other. We're going to do this, girl. Right?
Okay. Well, thank you.
Starting tomorrow.
You're welcome.
Okay. Okay. Good night.
Good night, honey.
Night.
Okay. Bye.
Okay. So is there anyone else on the line right now that wants to unmute themselves? I know it's already 12:01, so the show officially has ended, and Lisa is of course she can stay or go, but is there anyone else right now that would like a reading from Lisa? If so, please unmute yourself, whoever you are. Okay, so Eric, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, hello.
Lisa, is it okay?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure it's okay. Okay.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi there.
How are you?
What's happening, hotcakes?
Geez, I'm trying to prepare for the arrival of my parents later this week.
Oh, that's always fun, huh?
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I don't know if that's really what I need to talk about, but I am wondering what you might pick up from me. I've had some strange dreams lately.
That's interesting that you say that, because so have I. And I really want you paying attention to the dream state that you're going into. Are you recording any of them?
I tried to dictate into the voice recorder of my phone what I remember when I wake up. I don't always do it, but I try to do it. And I just did that the other day.
Okay. My recommendation is that you continue doing that, because the more that you do it, the more you remember, okay? And it's just like anything else. You're training yourself to remember your dreams, and the more you do it, it's like this mental thing of I need to remember, so you'll start to retain more. But pay attention to what's happening in the dream state. Are you dreaming about water, or is it constantly, are you in a, like yesterday I had a dream about being in a haunted house. What's actually happening in the dream state, and then pay attention to how it relates to what's going on in your life presently. There are always messages in dream state. I believe always messages.
Yeah, I definitely can see the relationship. I mean, there's a few reoccurring scenarios that I tend to dream about in various ways. One involves the place I last worked at full time. It's like still feeling like I'm working there, but knowing that I'm supposed to be leaving there or that I'm on a track out of the place. I keep dreaming about that scenario. And another scenario, which has been longer, is always feeling like I'm supposed to be, or feeling like I'm in a college semester, and like there's some classes that I'm not attending, or things I'm not doing, in this college scenario, but feeling like there's too much to do and I couldn't possibly do it all.
Interesting. So when you left your last job, do you have regrets for leaving?
Well, it wasn't really my choice. The company was bought by another company, and then they pretty much stripped the company down. So I was given a 3-month period to leave.
Okay, so that's self-explanatory, right? It's unfinished or unresolved emotions around the place of employment. Okay, so what I would ask you to consider doing is writing about the fact that you were organized out of that organization and how it made you feel. Why do you feel that way? Kind of like that whole psychology thing. Just go through all the emotions that start coming up and just release it and let it go once and for all. It's just kind of one of those innate things that are just like the loop that just keeps playing, and you just need to let that go completely. I always say when you write these things down, then just burn them, right? I don't keep journals unless it's really good things that I want to keep notes of. The bad stuff I just burn, okay? Or things I'm trying to purge, I burn. And then the college semester where you're taking classes, you're not attending because there's too much to do, that's telling me that there are things that Spirit's trying to guide you to do, but in life, you're keeping yourself either too preoccupied or too busy in order to learn that which they're trying to teach you. And that's coming through your subconscious when you're in your dream state. So what is it that you've been trying to what is it that you desire to learn, but you either haven't given yourself the time or haven't had the time to get there? Like, is there a class you've wanted to take? Is there a seminar you've wanted to attend? A trip you want to make?
There's several different fronts. I mean, there's certain skills I know would be useful to learn. Or, like, I'm a programmer, software programmer, so I know there's like a whole list of languages I could investigate into learning, and some I have. I have other interests in spiritual matters, learning things like tarot or
it's more spiritual.
Refining techniques that I've for healing. Like actually, I talked to you maybe a month ago or more on Chris's show, and at that point, I had just come back from a Reiki group, and you were talking about what you had picked up that I had done during that Reiki session, and a lot of it was stuff that I have a feeling for, but I don't totally sense everything you were seeing. Like you thought I was what you told me was that there were some archangels that were working with me during the healing work. Okay. And it wasn't like I consciously called them in. It was just like they showed up.
Yep, got it. That is what they're trying to get through to you in dream time, is that more spiritual work needs to be done. So whatever you can do to carve time out of your the rest of your schedule to delve more into your spiritual work is what they're trying to get you to see.
Right, and so there's that side of things that I really would like to pursue, but then I'm kind of caught in this 3D issue of having to find a way to sustain myself.
Sure. Yeah, don't we all have that now that we're trying to live our spiritual truth, right? So.
Right. So, I mean, I've been out of work now almost approaching 2 years. And I had a brief stint where I did a contract job, but that was just very brief. And I've had some close hits for getting a job, but nothing's come through. Something's always kind of come up to prevent me from getting a job. For example, the last job I thought I landed, the director of the software development department really wanted to hire me, but then 2 former employees showed up and asked to be rehired, and the CEO decided to rehire them, so therefore there was no opening for them to hire me.
Okay.
So I kind of take that, well, maybe I'm supposed to be going in a different direction, but I don't quite know what it is.
It's fear. It's fear of moving in that direction, though, isn't it? Is it possible for you to sustain a living? Those kinds of things. Can I really do it? And the answer is yes. But you do have, it is it going to be work? Absolutely. And if you've already been out of work for almost 2 years, this has been, a really great opportunity for you to delve headfirst into all of this stuff. And there's absolutely no reason why, if you're offering Reiki, that you couldn't be seeing clients.
Well, if there was a market for the services, I mean, right now where I live, it's not a densely populated area. It's not like a spiritual center like Sedona or something. So, I mean, I feel like I could help people with Reiki. I just don't know that that's really what I'm supposed to be doing for a living.
Okay. And I'm not saying that it has to be a living. I'm just saying it could fill in the gaps, now couldn't it? And maybe the people that you meet through these different avenues might know somebody that knows somebody that's, you never know how you're going to find that next opportunity. But if you're not getting yourself out there and you're not meeting these people, then you're not, giving yourself the opportunity to make those steps forward.
Sure.
I feel like this is what they're showing me. You're kind of walking in a circle. Does that make sense? Do you kind of feel like you just keep walking in a circle, but it's kind of a slow-paced circle. It's not like you're running. It's not like you're chasing your tail or anything. It's just kind of you're just walking in a circle. Walking in a circle. And, I'm going to go back to that book. I'm telling you, this book is amazing. That Excuse Me, Your Life is Waiting. You may want to consider the copy that I held up it was a little more expensive because it has a study guide in the back, but you don't have to buy that one. You can buy the other version. I'm sure it's available on Kindle. And, just really focus on what it is you want. And if you aren't sure what you want, then start writing about not knowing what you want. I don't know what I want to be when I grow up, and I have no sense of direction. And you just keep writing. It's by the time you get to that 3rd or 4th page that you really start getting to the nitty-gritty of what your soul wants to talk about and what you feel like you really want to do. And then keep asking the question, well, why do I feel this way? Well, why do I feel this way, right? Just keep asking yourself. And you're the one answering yourself. Just keep asking, well, why do I feel this way? And by the time you keep, you get into that, 5, 6, 7 times, all of a sudden the real truth around why you feel that way is really going to surface. Then you can start working on those core issues. But until you allow yourself to get to those core issues, you're going to be in this same place 6 months from now going, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing.
Well, I thought what I wanted was to get another job in software development. But there are a lot of challenges associated with that profession. And it's an evolving profession, too. There's a lot of things that change in the technology very quickly.
Okay.
Has made it a challenge. But now, because of some of these challenges that have seemed to be roadblocks, this is why I'm kind of reassessing if that's what I need to do. I haven't, I'm not sure.
Yeah, roadblocks can tend to be spirit going, we don't want you going that way anymore. So I agree with you. Reassessing is really good. and then just really spending some time going inward, you know, and figuring it out. Well, why do I feel this way? Well, why are the roadblocks happening? And just keep asking yourself questions. But, you know, to just ask and have a dialogue with your brain, just, you know, without writing it down, there's something about the act of writing things down where you really get that communication going. And
can I get your
helpful for you.
Can I get your impression on one thing I've been considering for a while?
Yeah.
So one thing I've had an interest in and followed for many years now is just financial markets. And I've done a certain amount of trading in markets on and off in the past, and I've thought about doing or trying to do some of that to try to find a way to sustain myself. Does that look like a worthwhile endeavor for me?
Yeah, it does. And again, that could be what your dream state is interpreting, is that education has to be, you have to seek out education in order to get to that next level. If there's going to have to be something that you're going to have to learn in order to make this next thing happen. You're going to have to make time for it. But my eyebrows go up, right? When my eyebrows go up, it's like, yeah, that's definitely something that I would pursue and look into. I would not take that lightly, that is something that you've thought about and have an interest in.
Well, because there are potentials for a lot of rewards doing that, but there's also potential for a lot of failure doing that. And it's a financial there's a certain amount of financial commitment you need to do that. So, part of me is like, well, I don't want to fail at that and then lose more than what I've already lost already. And part of me is like, well, I think I really could do this.
I feel like you really could do it too. So do your research. If you're a praying person, pray about it. I would ask for you to write, one, possibly two questions down for your angelic team as you go into dream state, and then ask for the answers to be revealed to you in dream time, because they're very prophetic dreams that you're having. And then ask to remember them. Ask to remember the answers.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And it literally does train the brain to remember. I don't know how, but it does. It trains the brain to remember. Don't ask more than two questions, though, because then you're asking for too much in dream state, and then it's all going to get convoluted. 1 to 2 questions a night, and then go into dream time, or 1 to 2 questions, and then go into a meditative state. Have your recorder handy and ready so that when you come out of that meditative state, you can start, recording immediately what you saw and the visions that you saw. I have a girlfriend who actually patented something that came through dream state. So, there's very prophetic things that can come, and I feel like that's a really good way that they get to you, because you're so mental. You're so in your head because of the work that you do that you're not allowing yourself to feel the answers.
Yes. And if I might add something here too, because
I would love that, Corinne, please.
I've known, Eric, I've kind of known you as well as you can know someone in a chat room for a couple of years now. And from what, forgive me if I'm mistaken, but you seem to want to really hold tightly to the things you want and to believe. And I think that you just need to calm down a little bit about them and not get so possessive or uptight about them. Does that make any sense to you?
I think I understand your perception. I'm not so sure that you really have. I'm not really possessive about much. I don't really understand why you feel that.
I think it's more you overthink.
Okay.
He's mental.
Overthink.
He's mental. He's
Yeah.
Because you have
Right.
to be, you're a very left brain person, and things have to make sense to you. And I think that, if I can speak for Corinne, I think that's what you're saying.
Well, yes, I am. I acknowledge I'm a very mental person, but I also I do often do checks on how I feel about things. Does this thing feel right to me? Does that feel right to me? It's not just totally mental. In the past it's been more and more mental, but the past 6 to 8 years I've been more and more trying to feel about things.
Good.
So it's been. I'm not saying I'm perfect at any by any means, but in fact, as far as asking questions, simple questions, I can try to ask yes or no answers to, and just try to feel if that feels like a yes or no, or does that feel right or does not feel right. Kind of like a dowsing situation without a dowsing tool.
Yep, I was just going to ask you that if you do use a dowsing tool at all. Okay.
In the past I have, not recently, but I started out using a pendulum, but then I got to the point where I just stopped using the pendulum and just sensed what yes or no felt like.
Very good. Very good. Excellent. That's excellent. Well, I feel like you've got a really good head on your shoulders. I feel like, I hate to say it this way, but I feel like you're like plopped down right in the center of the wrong place at the wrong time. Like it might require a move or a big change on your part in order to get that which you want and desire. And I don't know where it is. I don't know what part of the country you live in. But I feel like what you're really, really, really looking for isn't necessarily going to be where you are.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but...
Well, it makes sense. Knowing what I'm looking for, I haven't quite found it yet, so it's hard to know that. Hard to know. Maybe this isn't the right place, but I don't know what is the right place.
Yeah, and that's where you just consider being open to whatever the universe has. What you got, Corrine?
And I'm saying, Lisa, and Eric, I'm saying, I know, look at, when you can't pay your bills, it's easy to let things flow. It's not easy to let things flow is what I mean. It's very hard to, not, freaking dive in and hold on to, I gotta do, or I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. But that you can only, we don't really have much control over anything. We can decide what we want to eat for dinner, blah, 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 blah. But really, everything mostly is out of our control. And I just think, I don't know if I'm wrong, Lisa. Lisa, when people are they have a certain, they want to do a certain thing and they're they've got this on their mind, they want to do that. But is it better to step back and say, okay, let's see what happens. Let the water flow in. Let's see what happens here.
Right.
Is that better? I don't know.
I think it's a really good idea to not hold on so tight, because you never know if the water is, I like your analogy of just letting it flow, because you never know if you're holding on so tightly that you might be missing opportunities that you might otherwise be flowed to, but you're holding on so tight over here that it doesn't allow you to flow in that direction. I'm telling you, Eric, you have the power within you to create anything that you want. I'm in the belief that every single situation that happens to us, we've created in some fashion for our soul's growth. Now, things that have happened to you in your past, I was forced out of corporate America against my will after 10 years of being in a job. You were forced out of corporate America, but there's a reason for that. And I couldn't find a job to save my life until I met my husband, and my husband's like, you're not going back into corporate America. I'll help support you until you get your business going. I had the luxury of having someone be there for me. So, it doesn't sound like you necessarily have that luxury, but I'm telling you that if you really allow yourself to stay in the flow of what the universe has planned for you, tell them your heart's desires. Really put it out there. And if you're unsure, then you just start somewhere and say, well, when I was little, and what did you want to be when you grew up? Well, I can say I wanted to be a princess, and I wanted to be this, and well, that's not realistic, right? But I wanted. Here's some things. I want to be in a job where I'm respected for what I do. I want to have coworkers that I enjoy being around, and that we work cohesively as a team. I want to be able to use the skill sets that I have learned over all of my years in XYZ business, right? So you're kind of creating the form of some type of job to come in versus the universe going, he really has no sense of direction or what he wants to do, so we're just going to hang here and wait for him to figure it out. Does that make sense? Sure
it does. And a lot of what you're saying is helpful.
So you just start creating like the baseline on, okay, if I had my perfect job, it would be 9 to 5, right? Or I could even work from home and make my own hours. That job would require me to maybe do some traveling, and I don't mind traveling. You don't have to be specific about what the job title is, but just start defining what you would like to do, and then start moving in that direction. But do what Corinne is saying is not holding on tightly to very specific things, but just staying in the flow and allowing that to just kind of move around you and be fluid, right? Be fluid.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, that's that helps me to hear that.
Yeah, Eric, you're very smart. Eric is very, very, very smart. He's
I can feel that.
Chris is here on me as the co-host now. And what about that Chris? What do you need to do?
And I have a girlfriend of mine whose husband does like computer programming and stuff like you do, and he works from home, and he works all different kinds of hours, and just he makes like crap loads of money doing exactly what he loves, and so. You even write down, I desire to make this amount of money, and how many hours you want to work in a week, and you don't have to work hard to make a good living. That's one of those old beliefs. If you were listening earlier when I was reading, excerpts out of that book, get rid of your old belief patterns on what it has to be or what it needs to be, and move into what I want it to be and what my heart desires it to be.
Yes, I understand. I actually wrote down the title of what you showed. So all these ideas are helpful. I'm also pursuing more law of attraction type things, which is a lot of what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So I very much appreciate all of that, and
welcome.
Thanks to both of you, and to Chris for the venue.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, I'll let Chris have her overtime now.
Okay. Just in the nick of time. I was gone longer than I thought, and I ran out of stores to get what I wanted. But anyway, I did get some things done, like cash the check, so that was good news. But thanks, you guys, for Corinne. Thank you for handling that for me. And Lisa, you stayed late.
Yeah, she did a great job.
Yeah.
She's an old pro at it, though.
I think she's been a radio host. When did you start your show, Corinne?
I don't remember. But anyways, Lisa did a phenomenal job tonight. She read Dragon, she read Judy, and that's all that happened and Eric when you were gone. Yeah. So
awesome. That's good.
You did a great job.
20-minute readings at Curious Times. That's good. That's good. We don't shortchange nobody. So thanks. You may as well just. Oh, she already muted herself, eh, Corinne? She got shy all of a sudden? No. She probably ran out of cider and had to go pee or something like that. You know what I mean? So thanks for staying late, Lisa. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Lisa, at the beginning of the show, Lisa's like, do you just want to bail on the show? I'm like, nah, we'll do the show. And like I say, no matter what, especially with my back, I'm not going to feel any better laying on the, you know what I mean? Like, no matter what I'm doing, it's going to still hurt. And so I may as well be productive or something like that. And so thank you. So it's overtime, kids. Are you going to go, Lisa, or hang out, or what are you doing?
I'll hang out. It's another half hour, and I'm wide awake, so.
Amy, are you awake today? Is Amy awake? Has Amy been? Hello, Amy.
I don't even think.
Yeah,
I don't think she's here.
I'm awake because I'm driving. Thank God.
Oh.
Excellent.
But I sure wish I was asleep. I have never worked so hard in my life, but I need to talk to Eric, not now because I'm too tired, but we sort of need a programmer. I can't exactly promise it would turn into a full-time job, but Eric, one of these days soon we should talk. I'm not in the chat, or I would give you my cell phone number. Anyway.
I can give him that number if you want, like privately.
Perfect. I'm traveling tomorrow. Tomorrow I have to go to, I'm traveling today. And then I'm traveling, but I'm going to Cincinnati tomorrow. But Thursday or Friday, maybe we can find some time to talk.
It ends in last two digits 92, right?
Yes.
Okay. Very good. Okay, I will do that. And so I saw your tree that fell down in your courtyard. If a tree
Oh
falls
my God! It
courtyard,
felt like I was asleep, and I fell asleep, and I've been falling asleep because I work so hard. I haven't worked this hard in years. And then the tree fell at like 3 a.m, and it sounded like a bomb going off. I was so scared. Then I had to drive to Jacksonville to do something with my mother, which turned out not to be. So then I spent the afternoon yelling at my mother because she just continues to be
when I heard about
an
all the
asshole.
rain. Okay, yeah. Well, some things never change.
Right.
How does that sound? Some things will never change. Da, 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 da.
Oh, God.
And that's
just my day.
Yeah. Well, I thought about you when I heard about how bad it was raining and everything, and I thought, wow, Jesus.
Well, yeah, it was weird because it wasn't really like a full-blown hurricane where you like evacuate and stuff. But the winds were real heavy because there was a lot of tree damage. In fact, down like where my daughter got married, this beautiful old tree that's just hundreds of years old cracked off.
What was that? Oh, yeah. And so, well, you are out of that other place now, or what?
Well, I'm still there. In fact, I was there tonight, and I had a party. I had a dinner party, which was kind of ridiculous because I
have no dishes, I have no furniture,
I have no furniture, but
in other words, everybody come to my house and bring me food. We're having a party.
Well, I have an ocean and a pool, so
yeah,
we just floated and ate and barbecued. Right, I didn't drink because I had to drive, but I had to whatever. Yeah, so I still have the beach place, I guess, till the end of July, and my mother's still in a nursing home up there, and so I still have obligations up there. It's whatever. But tomorrow I'm going to Cincinnati.
Right, for the festivities. Ali, is that the Ali thing or is that the other thing?
Oh, no, the Ali thing's on Friday. I'm going to the Ali funeral in Louisville. I'm going to a IRS conference on tomorrow and Thursday. And I just feel like I'm going to
IRS conference? Like the Internal Revenue Service?
Right. Because I do software as service that has to do with, well, there's a new thing now, but it used to be with retirement plans. But anyway.
By By the way, I'd love to talk to you later when you have time about the software that you need.
Yeah, because our programmer, we had the same thing. They sold our product, and four of us ended up without a job. And our programmer went to Universal, and he's making some new ride. So we are without programmer, and my son is doing some of the stuff, but really just starting. So we need to talk a little bit, but right now I'm too tired to talk. So if you could, and tomorrow I'm going to be traveling, but if you could call me on Thursday or Friday, we can flesh it out a little more.
Sure. Yeah, that'd be great.
Revenue-generating activities for a gun dealer and a herpetologist.
Yeah, gun deal. Right, we have guns. I hope you don't mind getting paid for guns.
In bullets.
I have no problem. Well, I mean, guns aren't evil in my opinion. They're just an instrument.
Right, they're just an instrument, exactly. But we don't deal with the guns. We deal with we just make shit. We just make software. It has to do with document generation software. Rules-based interview document generation.
All right.
But we'll talk some more on Thursday. But it sounds like this might be
if you don't know shit about it, you
a
better
little
get busy
bridge.
reading, Eric.
Fake
it till you make it. Fake it till you make it. Yeah, I can do that for you.
Yeah, of course you can.
Google. How do I?
YouTube. Right.
Well, everything's always just down to a matter of time.
Right. Exactly.
So, Christy, feel free to unmute your damn self, and same with you, not Darren. Not Darren. And same with you, Corrine. Did you guys hear about that guy that does the talk show? And so he was kind of making light of it, but he did a good thing. He paid $60,000 to buy $15 million worth of health care debt. So, people who have had hospitalization or this, and they have all this hospital debt or health care debt. Now, it's old debt. Yeah, John Oliver. It's old debt and uncollectible, but people buy that debt up and then go harass people who don't know that it's uncollectible because it's past the statute, basically. So he bought $15 million worth of people's debt for $60,000 and then forgave all that debt. But all that debt was technically not collectible by court action. But still, what a nice thing. It puts the now, does he have the money to notify each person? You know what I mean? Because maybe they don't know that that their debt is now forgiven, and they're going to still die of a heart attack from all the stress of how am I going to pay back all this money. But that shows you how sleazy these guys are, though, is that they go and they buy uncollectible debt. So that's basically debt that if you've gone over 2 years and not acknowledged the debt and there's been no court action initiated on you, they can't collect your debt through court action anymore. And you're under no obligation then, but they will sell that debt then to somebody for pennies on the dollar, and those people will go and hound you endlessly without telling you that it's not collectible in the courts.
Right, and they call your relatives. They're real good at calling old elderly people who believe them, and answer their phones. It's really despicable.
Well, it's also despicable.
He says, I gave away more than Oprah Winfrey now, because Oprah Winfrey shows, you get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car. And he's all like, fuck you, Oprah, I gave away more than you.
It's also despicable how much... It's also despicable how much people are charged for medical care anyway, in general. So it's... You go to another, I know someone who lives in Brazil, and there the cost of medical care is a fraction, or same with Mexico, of what it would be in the U.S.
Yeah,
Well,
it's all
you know,
despicable.
like, I mean,
It's all despicable.
Like, it's just that what happens is that's what happens when you go for-profit healthcare. That's for-profit healthcare. And even in Canada, where it's not not technically for-profit healthcare, there's still some costs that are way out of the reach. And you know, when you add this kind of incentive for people, then all of a sudden, it's just like in the States, you guys got those private jails, and that's just creating more, because it's just like now they have a vested interest in getting more people in their jails, you know what I mean, and keeping them there longer. And
well, the drug war is the reason for that.
No, but I'm saying, like, if you read up on this particular issue, there's some jurisdictions where they're going and they're basically making criminals out of young kids to turn them in, so that they'll like turn into the system, and you know, it's really reprehensible. And then once you're in jail, once you're in prison, then they're coming up with other charges to throw on you to keep you longer. You know, because they're getting
and they make all the money like on the phone calls.
Right,
and
that's
like
right.
You can order these like care packages, but they have to come from a certain. Oh my God, it's just such a freaking
what I was.
And now they're doing it with the immigrants, because you know that woman I told you about that got detained at when she was crossing the border, even though she had a visa. She's been to like still detained, and what the problem was that she really wasn't using her own money to come up here, and the terms of her visa require her to have money and be bringing money into the country, you know, to spend while here. And basically, she would just come and the people up here would pay for everything. But all those detention centers that they're in are all private. It's like such a freaking racket.
Well, what I was trying to say about the drug war is that the United States has about 5% of the world's population, or even less, and they have like 20+% or 25% of the world's prison population. And you look at the population growth of the prisons, it corresponds almost correctly or directly with the ramping up of the drug war and everybody being put in jail for possession of this or that, or just, you know.
That's
clear. Exactly why they created. That's why they created the drug war.
Just to be clear, though, so there's no misunderstanding. There are sex offenders and all kinds of other criminals being let out the back door because there's no room. So even if they let all the drug guys go, those jails could still be full, but they'd be full with violent criminals, you know, people that have really done harm, not some poor sucker that got caught with a joint on a
but you see, the private prisons, they don't want they don't want to take care of violent criminals. They're too difficult.
They don't. Yes, I know that, but I'm just
saying,
like, it's not.
Don't
be under any illusion that the prisons would be empty if they let the drug guys go, because the point is that there's many criminals that slip through the back door, who have done, you know, really bad things, that would be in jail, but for that there's no room for them. You know. I mean, there's guys doing, like, molesting children and stuff, getting just like disgustingly low sentences. But then what happens is, without pomp and circumstance, in the middle of the night, they get let out early in the back door because there's no room. You know? So I still think that even if you let the drug guys out, your prisons could still be full, but they'd be full with the right people. You know?
Like the people in Washington, D.C.? I don't think that'll happen.
Look at all the white-collar criminals, and, like, their crimes have, you know, caused people to kill themselves and caused people's lives and livelihoods to be destroyed and their whole life savings and everything. And And this is massive devastation, not only on a personal level, but then on a community economic level too. And by and large, those crimes go way underpunished as well. You know, little guy that gets screwed every time. Every time. You may as well just wear no pants. Make it easier for them, you know? Make it easier for them.
Can we talk about, are we still recording?
Yeah. Hey, thank
Do
you
we
for listening, archive listeners, and blah, blah, blah. We'll be back tomorrow with Kathleen Moore, because Corinne wants to talk, so if you want to hear Corinne talk, you better be here for overtime. Thank you. Bye-bye.